information for you guys. I have so many people asking me, what kind of paint are we using for the painting? Will it stain the clothes? Will it wash off? Is it washable? Is it oil? How do we dilute it? Just all kinds of questions. So I just kind of wanted to go over a couple of things with the two main kind of paint products that I use and most artists use, which is called acrylic painting or oil painting. So what I do is when I go shopping, and also I want to talk to you about, buying kind of like budget type paint instead of the most expensive type of paint. And I'll tell you why. So first of all, this is all the acrylic paint. These are basics. These are by Liquitex, which is a pretty good company that makes good pigment, good bodied pigment. It's thick enough, and most of the time it's pretty opaque, not too transparent. So this is really good, but these are basics, and these are primarily used by students. Parties, when you go to paint parties, students that are in college learning how to paint, and you can even buy these for your kids. These are really not that expensive, and they're pretty decent paint. Now, Winsor Newton makes an acrylic paint as well, but it's more pigment in it. It's less likely to be too transparent, meaning that you can see through it when you paint on a white surface. These ones right here, you might be able to see, these pigments right here, you might be able to see a little bit through these, because they don't have as much pigment in them as these. Winsor Newton is a great product, just a little bit more expensive than these. Maybe, say for instance, this one was $3.99. This one might be $4.99 or maybe $5.99. So it's really not that big of a difference, and these are really excellent paints. I get all of my paint supplies like this in the pre-tubes at Michael's, which I really love Michael's because they have everything. But when I do my paint parties, I usually buy my paint in bulk, and I get it from Blick. I get the half gallons from Blick, and this is just a blue one. And these are about $12 per half gallon, and I can fill up lots and lots of squirt tubes with them. So I can probably get about 4 to 5 squirt tubes like these out of one jug of paint. So I do this when I want to get bulk. I'll buy the half gallon and I'll put them in the squirt bottles, and I'm good. These ones right here I usually use for my personal painting projects. Now a little bit on how to stretch your paint. You don't really want to add a lot of water to it. Even though water is your friend, it helps the paint move smoothly and more flowing over your surface. So you want to definitely have water around and a nice hydrated brush, so you can dilute the paint and move it around a little bit. Let me wipe that off. The other thing that you want to do, if you don't want to dilute with water, you can use what's called a glazing. It's a liquid glaze medium that you add to each of your pigments that you're using at the time. And it helps to kind of break it up a little bit and not make it so thick. So this is a good product to get too. This one's by Golden. And then here's another one by Artist Loft. Pricier than this one. This is probably more student grade, but they work the same. This one is probably just a better product in terms of the quality of the material in there, but they work the same. This one is just a little bit more inexpensive than this one. So these are called acrylic glazing mediums. See down here, slow drying blending. This helps you also to have more time to paint, because since this is acrylic paint, it dries faster because of the air. It's water-based, so the air dries it out a lot faster as you're painting. So this one will give you a little bit more time, and it's called Slow Dry Blending Gel Medium. That gives you the opportunity to do some corrections or do some blending or things like that. So this one will do the same thing. Now this is all acrylic. Remember, water is your friend. If you get this on your clothing or anything that you don't want it on, you got to hurry up and grab some fresh water, some clear water, and wash it off of your clothing. You can even move it off your painting surface as well. If some any one of these paints gets in the wrong area, you can even use a little bit of water on a clean cloth or a clean brush and kind of dab it off. But you can't do it once it dries. It turns into plastic. It is a plastic binder in here, so you don't want to wait too long because they will stick and turn into thick plastic. So these are all of my acrylic paints that you see has had heavy use. And now moving into the oil paints that I mentioned earlier. These are just a couple of tubes of the oil paints that I have. I have a big box of them, but I only wanted to bring in 2 of them. This one is by Winsor Newton, and I would only buy Winsor Newton oil paint because it is the best for me. Just see the difference here. This says acrylic down here at the bottom. This one says oil color, so you know the difference. They're both by Winsor Newton, but one is acrylic, water-based, one is oil paint. And the only way you can break oil paint down is not with water. You cannot use water to clean this up. You need terpenoid or turpentine. So there's 2 types of mineral spirits you can buy. This one has an odor to it, and this one right here has no odor to it. So it's up to you what you like. I don't mind either one. I love the smell of turpentine and linseed oil and all of that kind of stuff. It just makes me feel like I'm painting something. So linseed oil is another kind of like a medium here. It's kind of like a medium that we use with acrylics. With the linseed oil, you put it in the oil paint to help stretch it and dilute it out a little bit. So the linseed oil is good for that, for the oil colors. Brush cleaners. Brush cleaners. We'll talk about brush cleaners in the next video. So I hope this helps you understand the difference between the two. Mineral spirits are your friend with oil colors. Water is your friend with acrylic colors. So I'll see you back at the next video. Take care.